It's Thursday, March 7. Here's what's making news. Minister of State Joseph Harmon says the Guyana Elections Commission has a timeline to prepare for general and regional elections, and that must be honored as the aim of the government is to deliver credible elections.
The President's letter to the Chairman of Elections Commission on the 25th of February, the very last paragraph of that letter indicated that the President would meet with GCOM on consultations with respect to their readiness for the conduct of elections, more importantly, the financial resources that are required and the timeline that is required. GCOM, our understanding from the whips that met with GCOM is that they have a timeline when things are to be done, and it is that timeline that we have to address their own readiness for foreign elections.
Minister of State Joseph Harmon. President David Granger has made it clear that GCOM is an autonomous body, an independent agency, and no part of the Constitution gives the President or the Executive in general authority to interfere, intervene, or intrude in the work of the Elections Commission. Adding that government will arrange as quickly as possible a meeting with the election body to ensure that the nation is satisfied that it is moving towards elections. In this regard, Minister Harmon says the President has instructed that GCOM be advised about an early meeting.
I will follow that up this today to determine when best, but it's going to have to be done within the next 3 to 4 days so that we can get from GCOM their readiness for the delivery of credible elections. I think this is important that the President spoke about. It is about delivering credible elections and not just any elections that will end up creating more confusion than they solve problems.
The President and the opposition leader met on Wednesday for their second high-level meeting. Top on the agenda was GCOM's readiness for the hosting of general and regional elections. For InfoHub, Felicia Valenzuela.
President David Granger and opposition leader Bar Jagdeo recently met for the second time to discuss the readiness of the Guyana Elections Commission to conduct general and regional elections. But how exactly does the population view the current state of affairs? Let's find out in this report.
Many persons, for the most part, felt the meeting was necessary and augurs well for free and fair elections. According to taxi driver Joel McCurdy, who operates from the Stabroek area, the meeting between President David Granger and opposition leader Bar Jagdeo needed to take place.
I think it's a good idea for the government and the opposition to meet based on what's happening. And was the talk on the ground, I think it's a good idea for them to meet and iron out things. Without that, it wouldn't a way forward. Free and fair election is good for not only my opinion, but for the people in general. Free and fair election, that's what everybody wanted.
McCurdy also felt it was necessary for fresh house-to-house registration to be done before the elections were held.
I won't mind waiting, but I just want to make sure that before they go ahead, come with a date, or before they go ahead with the election, make sure they do the right thing, they have the house-to-house survey, make sure they just get it right. Once they get it right, I have no problem with it.
Another taxi driver, Philip Fraser, also welcomed the meeting between President Granger and the opposition leader.
I think it's a good idea, and I believe that at the end of everything, they should come to some decision, because general election cannot be held now because of the voters list, and it needs to be cleaned up, and have a lot of young people need to vote. And I think they need some time to go and do a fresh house-to-house registration, and if possible, new ID cards.
Many citizens told InfoHub they wanted free and fair elections.
I want free and fair election.
Without government, this country can't run good. So it's very important to go out and vote. I want free and fair election.
So if it is to be correct or perfect, you must have a new voters list, give the opportunity for whoever as young people or whoever to get the chance to vote.
The meeting between the president and opposition leader has been deemed useful and fruitful by the head of state, as he has committed to meeting with the GCOM commissioners with a view to determining the commission's readiness and way forward. For InfoHub, Felicia Valenzuela.
Guyana has been named the #1 best of ecotourism destination in the world, leading ecotourism destinations like Sierra Gorda, Mexico.
The award was presented to Guyana at the ITB Global Travel Trade Fair in Berlin, Germany. The second annual Best of Top 100 Awards is a selection of the finest top 100 destinations selected by a panel of experts who reviewed sustainability success stories submitted by destinations worldwide. The newly created Best of Ecotourism category was added in 2019 and put Guyana up against very well-known and experienced ecotourism destinations like Sierra Gorda in Mexico, Mataboy in Cambodia, and the Galapagos Islands in Ecuador. Director of the Guyana Tourism Authority, Brian Mullis, accepted the award on behalf of Guyana. Guyana is positioned as the next must-see destination for travelers, with daily non-stop flights already available from New York, Miami, and Toronto, and direct routes available from Europe through sister Caribbean countries. Being the only English-speaking country in South America, travelers can experience vibrant indigenous culture, rich history, and hospitable and friendly people in the language both parties know best. Guyana has also recently become the first country to adopt the Adventure Travel Trade Association's International Adventure Travel Guide qualification and performance standards. The Top 100 Awards jury was impressed by the dossier prepared by the Guyana Tourism Authority for the Top 100 nomination and by the success stories submitted of Surama and Rira, both North Rupununi villages. Both eco-lodges have ambitious and admirable goals and successes, are community-owned and led, and aim at preserving Guyana's ecosystems and indigenous traditions. Guyana was also commended for its green, inclusive, and prosperous Guyana policy, which provides a good quality of life for all its citizens based on a sound education and social protection, low-carbon resilient development, green and decent jobs, economic opportunities, individual equality, justice, and political empowerment. Reporting for InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
A $220 million Children and Family Center will soon replace the Sophia Drop-In Center with better amenities and services for the less fortunate.
Minister of Social Protection Amna Ali and team early Thursday morning visited the new and improved Children and Family Center at Plum Park, Georgetown. The $220 million building, which will serve as a holding facility for the less fortunate, is expected to be commissioned by the end of March. Minister Ali said the facility will be the first of its kind.
I'm here this morning to have a first-hand look as to where we are, have a discussion with the contractors so that we can know how soon we are going to be able to complete the facility.
Minister Ali said she is very pleased with the construction process. Director of the Child Care and Protection Agency, Anne Green, said when the building is completed, it will avoid the separation of families.
The 8 family apartments, independent apartments for families. There is also 4 apartments for children, different ages, the senior children, young children, boys and girls. And the 8 apartments, there's also a family training center. So the families, we train the families right here.
Other facilities constructed in the compound are a mess hall, administration building, a storage department, coaching department, and a playground. Green said there will be regulations and standing operating procedures implemented in order to take in families. Reporting for InfoHub, Ayana George.
Still to come, National Tushau's Council has received a 67% increase in subvention under coalition government and National Sports Commission to install pool lights at Aquatic Center. The details of these and more when we return.
The future of Guyana has never looked better. Our nation is on the cusp of a development program like never seen before. While Guyana is now emerging as an energy giant through the discovery of massive reserves of oil and natural gas, it is your government's intention that the huge benefits emerging from this will go where it matters most, to you, the people of this beloved country. There is a surge of confidence in the way Guyana is governed once again, and the level of investor interest is unprecedented. Guyana is poised to become the breadbasket of the region, And the pace at which this nation will grow through prudent fiscal management will be nothing short of impressive. But more than anything else will be the way every Guyanese, regardless of color, class, or creed, becomes a part of this historic period of national transformation, sharing in the wealth and well-being of it all as one Guyana.
Welcome back. Ministerial Advisor at the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, Mervyn Williams, says the National Tushaus Council received some 67% increase in subvention in 3 years under the coalition government.
The National Tushaus Council is the body that represents the indigenous peoples of Guyana. When the administration took office in 2015, the council was receiving a mere $12 million. This was increased to $16 million in 2017 and 2018 respectively, and $20 million in 2019.
Has invested and will continue to invest in the National Tushaus Council. Between 2015 and now, your government has increased the subvention to the National Tushaus Council by 67%.
Ministerial Advisor of the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, Mervyn Williams. Williams said government has fulfilled its commitment to ensuring that the NTC has a place to conduct its work in Georgetown.
His Excellency said, indigenous peoples don't like fence. They don't like a piece of land. They want real land. And so he is working, and your government is working to identify an even bigger plot of land where you can have a complex where people can actually go and rest and do business and commune with each other.
The ministerial advisor emphasized that the government has never interfered in the operations of the NTC. In fact, during the period 2015 to 2017, that body did not submit a single financial report to the Minister Sidney Alicock, who is an ex officio member of the council.
The last executive of the NTC rode heavily on the backs of the indigenous peoples while they enjoyed the spending of the money and did not represent you.
The National Tushaus Council is a semi-autonomous body comprising of all the Tushaus in Guyana. It is headed by an executive team including one Tushau from each of the 10 administrative regions. Election for a new body was held in 2018. Sinkathorn Info Hub.
Local swimmers will soon have the opportunity to further hone their skills during the evenings as the National Sports Commission is set to install pool lights at the National Aquatic Center, Liliendal, East Coast, Demerara.
This was disclosed by Director of Sports Christopher Jones during an interview with InfoHub. Jones said the scope of work slated for the project is expected to be completed by the first quarter of this year.
We will be erecting the 40-foot tower, or poles if you want to call it that, and the installation of the lights there. That in itself will afford the activities beyond sundown to continue.
The sports director explained that the decision was taken after several local swim clubs indicated their desire to have night swims and training introduced at the facility.
Currently we have perimeter lights around the facility, but the various swim clubs would have indicated to us that they want to introduce night swims, not only for practice but actual competition.
Jones noted that the Aquatic Center has made a huge impact on the country's local swimmers since its official opening on November 4, 2011. The swimming facility boasts an Olympic-sized 50-meter pool and is one of the few located in the Caribbean. Neola Deman, InfoHub.
The efforts of the Darwin Initiative project were recognized by the British High Commission.
The UK-funded project, which was launched in Guyana in 2017, will conclude in 2020. The project focuses on traditional knowledge being incorporated into biodiversity policy for poverty reduction. Work was done in the 5 protected areas of the Kaieteur National Park, Irkwama International Center for Rainforest Conservation and Development, Conoshen District Community-Owned Conservation Area, Shell Beach, and the Kanuku Mountains. During a reception held at the British High Commission's residence on Wednesday, country coordinator of the Darwin Initiative project integrating traditional knowledge into national policy and practice, Deidre Jafar Ali, highlighted the importance of getting the community's perspective.
It's important to speak with the communities so that the information from their perspective is coming out. So the idea is to ensure that their voices are heard. It's to ensure that the role that they play in decision making is highlighted.
She further explained that the project also focuses on capacity building.
While they're supporting what we're doing in terms of looking at how traditional knowledge can help with the management of protected areas or conservation of Guyana's biodiversity, they can use the skills that they're learning to raise awareness about different issues that they're facing.
Globally, the Darwin Initiative project helps fund projects rich in biodiversity but with limited financial resources to meet more of the biodiversity conventions. For InfoHub, Anarakan.
That's all for this evening. Connect with us on WhatsApp, like and subscribe to our Facebook page for notifications, and subscribe to our website for more stories. You can also follow us on Instagram for updates. Your bridge and weather reports are up next. Goodbye.